the Nolan are having these picks that can actually farm up really quick. I also just feel like Team Falcons have kind of lost their individual flair that they had when it was Season 12 M5 as well. They've gone back to being a systemized team who would want to take the safer route. They wanted to take more risks back in the day when they won a world championship. Now it's like, all right, we can test for the first neutral objectives, we win it, and then we have an easy snowball. But if we don't, then all right, we got to come back some way. But again, it's just not taking the risk that they wanted to back in the day.
That's why my mom always says, if you want to win, you got to be local.
You gotta be loco, man.
Yeah, that's what my mom always says.
She also told you to be financially responsible, and yet here we are. Look, Team Falcons on the blue side up against Bigatron Esports on the red side. First picks going to be leading over to Team Falcons this time in comparison to Bigatron Esports, and I think that I do feel like it's an testament to what the meta is kind of leading to right now. I feel like jungle speed, if we're going like hero by hero, doesn't really vary too often, and I'm curious to see whether or not Jawhead is going to be implemented for Team Falcons to kind of get back into that like high GPM for Mr. Kyle TZ.
Personally, there was a draft that Ogwen did use the Jawhead, and big success. Right now, honestly, looking at the drafts here, Team Falcons banning out the Kalia as well as the Hive. This indicates that whatever draft that they're going for, they would prefer not to bring in a Purify. You know, that's why they ban out the Kalia. And then when it comes to the Hive is strong, sure, and you don't want to give that over to Eman. But that also means you want to use some kind of catch hero that you don't want them to be using a Purify. At least that's how I'm reading it for Team Falcons. And for Bigatron Esports, it's honestly like the usual suspects, right? Fanny, Matilda, you don't want to give over because Matilda with a fighter in the jungle, disgusting.
I think that's a fair argument here.
Ban as well, so they want to play front to back here.
But if we're talking like that, Luoyi doesn't necessarily always get banned in the first phase. Sometimes we see it let through. Well,
wait,
that's for
Bigatron
Stream
is first
A.
pick. Oh, Bigatron's first pick.
Oh, it looks
it's
like Bigatron
swapped.
Esports is on blue side and Team Falcons are on the red side. I'm just used to left.
That's
Yeah,
why.
same,
that
same.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. That means that Blue Yo is going to be locking in for the side of Bigatron Esports. And I think the big question mark here, if you're willing to get rid of the Kalia, are you willing to maybe even steal a Cho away from your boy Light?
I think that's a solid answer, right? Again, we've seen Bigatron Esports play better when they have something like a Cho on Light's hands. So you take away the comfort from Cho, you take away the comfort from Light entirely, and he plays the Tigreal. We saw what the Tigreal did up against Onyx Philippines again. It is a hero that he does well on, but when it comes to the clutch situations, comfort matters most.
Yeah. No.
Turner, you were shaking your head earlier. It seems like there's something that you disagree with here.
No, I completely agree. I think for Bigatron, especially this season, after looking at their performances and their drafting phase of an MPL ID this season, it's really important to secure a hero for Light in the first phase. And mostly, Cho.
Yeah, it's 99%. He has a 100% win rate on the Cho in MPL Indonesia when it's picked up in the first phase. When it's picked up for him.
I feel like at this point, you have to consider either picking up the Badang or the Phoveus, because I feel like one of Bigatron's pick might be Moskov, so you want to get either.
You know what I think?
What?
No Jawhead. Like, the Jawhead's been amazing for Bigatron Esports, but... sorry, not for Bigatron Esports, for the majority of teams, but the Jawhead on Light. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a horrible win rate that he's sitting on right now. Like, he has lost, I think, majority of the games he's gone Jawhead, and it's also just because it's not like a Cho. Cho, you can go in, you can also safely get out. Once you're Jawhead, you go in, that's it. You better get a pick or you're dead.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I remember correctly with the games that I casted for Bigatron Esports, it's just that when they fight, they really scatter around.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a 1v1 everywhere.
Exactly.
So he is able to pick off someone, but the damage isn't there, so he just dies for nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more of a give confidence to Annabelle type strategy, right?
Yes.
You want to put him in a situation where it's just like, okay, look, you want to build confidence, we're going to give you as many advantages as possible. At least you can do like the ultra fast clear with Light, unless they want to go for something a little bit more disruptive, but we'll see, because Lucas gets locked in for the side of Team Falcons. Keep in mind, this can be a flex pick for Team Falcons.
I feel like Bigatron should look at something like the Sicilian, because honestly, their draft here doesn't really have a lot of heroes that can dive to the back. You can say that Suyo can dive to the back, but I would prefer not to.
Definitely would prefer it to be
Like
a
that,
traditional.
Sicilian. Maybe consider the Farsa.
I think Farsa's okay. I'm just worried about what exactly... Actually, you know, once you have that Badang, I feel like the EXP is relatively safe.
Yeah,
Whether a Hilda or the Lucas, you can kind of what do they call it? Sandbag the matchup.
Yeah, I think for me, it's no longer a flex pick here because of the Hilda. The Hilda, we've only seen it in XP. I don't think we've seen it in Rome a single time in Snapdragon Pro Series.
I don't think I've seen it in
Not for
jungle.
Team Falcons.
No,
as
not
well.
for Team Falcons for sure. But even in MPLID, we have not seen the Hilda been flexed over to other roles. Lucas should be in the jungle,
Yes.
knowing that now. So it's up to the Roam and Mage as well. And Team Falcons, they're playing into it. They know they have the first pick on red side. They're going to ban as many mid laners as possible and then deny another one from Moreno. And a big one has been that Selena for Moreno. That's his signature pick currently.
Yeah.
When he gets to Selena, he does really well. Combo it together with a Jawhead, it could work really well, but that's why Team Falcons have gone for a very beefy composition and one with CC immunity in the Lucas.
I like the fact that Bigatron Esports, I mean, yes, you've already got your support locked in, but making sure you deny the Cho away
Yes.
from Team Falcons, because when you have Lucas, assuming that he's going straight into the jungle, I mean, all odds are looking towards that. That early game is especially deadly. Turtle fights are particularly hard to deal with if you're in Bigatron's position.
But what about this, guys? Isn't this great? Okay, first of all, I caught a Moscow ban. But this, like, the opening of playoffs, we get to see Sasuke versus Naruto. Isn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
exciting? In the jungle.
Dude, I've been waiting for
In
the
the
skins.
river? The
Skins
river?
are out.
No, I've
No,
been
but-
waiting for the skins
Oh.
for so long.
Like, the
It-
river itself, Mirko, like,
I agree.
right?
I agree. Oh, you know, like
Right,
the
the river.
map will change later on too, so it'll only get even more meta. Moonton, don't nerf these two heroes until we get to see it live in the competitive scene, please.
There we go. Tigreal going to be the final ban of the blue side. Team Falcons now get first pick on the second phase of the game. What are we thinking about here, boys? Do you want to lock in straight for your gold laner just to deny Bigatron,
They
or
already have one.
sorry, mid laner? My
Yeah.
brain farted there for half a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Sicilian is relatively safe. If they want to hide their mid, sure, you can go for roamer, but yeah, I don't know any priority roamers right now.
I agree. I think the Roam can always just, be last picked here for Team Falcons. Picking up the Sicilian means that there's really not any other... I mean, Vexana, sure, technically could come through. Farsa, you mentioned it earlier, but it's so easy to dive the Farsa when you're on a Lucas. You go in and the Farsa... We've seen this matchup before.
Yeah.
Farsa against the Lucas. Whenever you pop that Feather Airstrike, you're the one getting airstriked.
Yeah, the problem is right now, Falcons, they have so much range. So if you want to go for something like the Selena, it really is a big risk that can work out. But once it doesn't, your wave clear is going to be very bad. Right? Your wave clear is going to be very bad, especially because if you want your Jawhead to help out your jungler and you let Selena just solo the lane,
Yeah,
she can survive, but you're not getting any kill pressure.
I do agree that it would make the opening of the game pretty difficult for Bigatron if they want to go for that fast clear rather than, double up on that mid lane. But they're going to go with the Farsa. They're going to risk it for the Biscuit, the Irithel as well. There is going to be some individual execution coming in from both Moreno and as well as Amon to kind of do that balancing act against Lucas.
And this is another thing that we have seen from Bigatron Esports. I think Irithel, in MPL Indonesia at least, is standing at a 0% win rate for Eman. And I don't know about this tournament because the matches I've seen with Irithel have also been a loss. You put Eman on the Irithel and it just takes away a whole lot of power of Eman in the gold lane. And again, one of a signature pick for Ogwen there. The Kufra comes in.
This is going to be interesting. It does mean that engaging for either side is going to be a little bit awkward. Strong counter-engage potential all through. Which draft are you liking more, LaFell?
Honestly, I feel like Bigatron has higher highs compared to Team Falcons. But again, we've been talking about the execution. If they can play around the Jawhead and the Suyo, absolutely amazing draft.
Okay, with that being said, we're going to leave it to our casters, Eterna and as well as Mirko, to kick things off on day one of playoffs of the Mobile Masters. It's Falcons versus Bigatron.
Thank you so much, boys. We are, in a moment, going to be heading into the Land of Dawn for our first quarterfinals match of the day. Just to remind you guys, it's Team Falcons from the Philippines versus Bigatron Esports. Now, remember, best of 5, so we are going, slowly into this, so easing slowly into this. Game number 1, Mirko, how are you feeling about the drafts?
Looking at the drafts, I think it's really early-centric in a way for the side of Bigatron Esports. They have the Jawhead, they have the Suyo, and the Badang too. They want to play for the early game, get the neutral objectives, and if they don't get a big lead at the start of the game, that Sicilian-Granger combination might be able to outscale them by mid.
That's what we're expecting, right? So execution has to be on point. You're looking right now up at the stage, ladies and gentlemen, live in Jakarta, Indonesia, as we head over for the Mobile Masters quarterfinals, day number 1. Let's head over to game number 1.
Oh, early aggression already, Ogwen. Getting the knockup, Blue coming down as well. That's going to be the Blazers, locking Ogwen down for a bit. Good Sanguine Claw to disengage for Team Falcons. Bigatron Esports are back to farming. Annabelle with the killing spree. Ogwen, has already used that flick.
Okay, we're gonna wait for that level 4 power spike, I think, really soon to get a little bit more of, sight as to how Team Falcons are gonna be playing around these neutral objectives. But the same can be said about Bigatron. Technically, they do have the Jawhead. We're looking at the emblems now. Does anything stand out?
This is a safer path, I would say, for Iman, going in for the weapon mastery on the Irithel. I think for the most part, we are used to seeing Iman go for aggressive master assassins in lane, especially when he knows that he has a lane advantage. Here on the Irithel against the Granger, you would expect him to go for master assassin. So the fact that he's gone for weapon mastery means that, he's taking it a bit safer. He wants to play with the team instead of going in alone.
And technically, I think he also knows that at the end of the day, he's going to be that guiding factor. Wait a second, already rotation onto Flap TZ in the top side. Should be able to get out, so just a little bit of damage protruding onto him. I don't think that's going to force a recall, so I think Bigatron, we're looking for a way to have a bigger say as to how these neutral objectives will go.
Okay, for the airstrike coming down as well up top. It's going to be a full dive, but it's going to be first blood over for Miranda. Annabelle walking up, gets the Soul Sever count. TZ taken down too. A good start for the Red Robots.
That's huge, right? This means they have full control over the neutral objective. So despite them unable to get Flap TZ earlier on, the way that Team Falcons re-engaged into that wasn't as great, and now they're going to lose control.
It was a questionable initiation. Unstoppable force. Good flicker out from Flap TZ. Time's Revenge again from Ogun with the Rage too, but there's no one there to follow it up. Luke's still able to disengage. And 2 times now we've seen Ogun tunnel vision to look for Luke of all members.
Is this... Wait a second, Light.
Ejector, Blade Surge, another kill to Annabelle. 2-0 up now, BTR.
Wow, 1,000 gold lead already in the first 3 minutes of the game, and this is what we were talking about earlier on. For the airstrike onto Few.
Oh!
What?
A solo kill for Moreno in the mid lane. Wow.
Moreno on this Barca has been delivering 2-0-2 so far. And again, right, going back to the way that we were talking about Falcons, the fact that Bigatron Esports are the one that's holding on to control in this early stage of the game might be imperative to how BTR take this. Let's hope they don't go for the tilt. We do see a charge coming through from Ogun. Doesn't necessarily commit onto it. They're waiting patiently though. But Bigatron still holds that 1,500 gold lead.
What a phenomenal start to the game from Bigatron Esports. All of us were talking about, again, Team Falcons having the edge in this matchup, but BTR, oh, again, Luke, able to get the ejector there with the help of Light. Gets the punch down and now a kill. It feels like a completely different team to what we saw in the group stages, Eterna.
They woke up and chose violence, right? They're proving everyone wrong here. 2,000 gold lead now for Bigatron Esports. They had a very, I would say, risky draft with them, going for the Farsa, but I guess when they're making skirmishes like this, where they're not committing to a full 5v5 team fight, the dive that Team Falcons had onto Bigatron Esports doesn't necessarily pose a risk to what they're doing. And we can see that happening all over the map. It's always been Moreno and Light looking for kills with Luke as well. It's also reflected onto their KDA, and I think Annabelle should be leading 1 level, by the way.
Ogun's charging, but the turtle has just been bursting. Now Ogun still decides to go in, gets pinned down now, but BTR... You would expect BTR to go in there. When you see a questionable engage, you think BTR probably going to take it, but they don't.
Wait, did Moreno commit to that boot? That boot choice? He went for more movement speed.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
And Eterna, this is playing out exactly how you mentioned for Team Falcons. You said momentum is important. It's crucial for Falcons in terms of in-game, right? Early on, they got to get a lead. And if they don't get a lead, this is what we're used to seeing. And that's what we're seeing right now. Is Light is able to wait and in that bush for Ogun to walk up. Luke escaping again. Disciplined maneuvers from Bigatron.
I guess at this point, Team Falcons, they have to wait on Few. Slap TZ onto Annabelle. Annabelle's not having the best of time as well on his rotations.
I think he's been fine. He's gotten 2 turtles rotating up top. Getting the waves as well, just matching up. So far, I think it's been good. After the 5th minute mark, you would expect your jungler to rotate to the other side of the map to farm up while your XP becomes the secondary roamer, or technically the real roamer. Light's more to the pickoff dude. The engage will be coming through Luke. That's when you see these big initiations, and he is level 8. He is looking for that pick. He has a Thunder Belt, and he stacked it quite a bit.
Okay, now we're looking at the gold leaderboard. We are seeing that Super Marco is falling a little bit behind, but not too much. Should be able to get to that power spike quicker. Eman, 4,200. It's not bad either for Eman, actually.
No, it's been amazing. I think for the entire team of Bigatron Esports, the first 6 minutes of the game has gone their way completely. In the laning phase again, for Eman, it's even better for him. Yes, he's not winning out in the lane completely. He's not getting solo kills, but the Irithel just needs to farm up, especially with his choice of emblems, weapon mastery. He can just wait for those item power spikes, and once it hits, it's going to hit real hard.
And farming they shall, already having some damage onto the upper side of the map. But you can see the rotations coming through. That's a concealed play coming through.
Uh-oh, flicker out from Few already early on as Kaltisi still holds on to there. Luke gonna be caught again, but it's only just Luke as Eman dives into the back with a heavy crossbow. Annabelle caught in the back as well. Flapteezy picks up the kill. Eman still going for the free hits, but it's only onto Ogwen. Team Falcons, one team fight, and they are back.
Yeah, 2-0 trade, ladies and gentlemen. Team Falcons are going to be able to pick up the neutral objective as well. And that was considering Kaltisi was 2 levels below, so that pick onto Annabelle was huge. It was an amazing way to kind of turn things around for Team Falcons PH.
Great way. Initially, you saw again Ogwen target Luke in the skirmish, but it was kind of a distraction for the rest of the team to just pile onto Annabelle. Well, BTR again were scattered. LaFell did mention this. When BTR get the lead, they want to play for those scattered team fights, and that's what you get when you get read out, right? Falcons PH were able to just stick as a unit together and focus down these members before Bigatron could take control.
And you can see now Eman just farming it out in the bottom side of the map. There's a rotation coming through from Team Falcons. Super Marco going to be able to pick up that turret, but it should be traded back by Irithel, by Eman in the bottom side of the map. So again, both of these teams are playing it well. They're utilizing their macro. Bigatron builds.
All right, let's take a look at the item builds. That's the Haas Claws with the Windtalker. So prioritizing a bit more mobility over the usual early power spike for the Irithel, right? You would expect Haas Claws, Berserker's Fury. That's a conceal from Light. Ogwen's in the bush, reads it out, pops the conceal. Light's going to be looking for it as well, but won't be able to find it. So Team Falcons have read out their rotation completely. Ogwen goes in for Charge Revenge. Luke will be able to go for the pin down with Fist Crack too. A lot of resources placed down the ejector to disengage. Kaltisi obliterated Eman there. And now the shots are coming down with the Feathered Airstrike locking onto Kaltisi. It's Flap going in deep to cancel it out.
And that's the damage from the Lucas. This is one of the heroes that have been highly contested pick for Team Falcons. Kaltisi has utilized this multiple times, and you can see the comfort really reflected through his playstyle. Eman gets completely shattered out. Team Falcons are going to be able to pick up that turret as well in the mid lane, and they should have one member up, as they are going to be the ones to be able to get to this Lord first. Light is in the vicinity, looks for some information. But Team Falcons don't necessarily go for the commit here. They needed to clear in that bottom side of the map first. Annabelle level 13. Meanwhile, Kaltisi is at level 12. So Annabelle has a little bit of an advantage when it comes down to the 50-50.
And the gold lead is getting crazy for Super Marco. That 1,200 gold lead that you see for Team Falcons, mostly it's not Super Marco, who's currently 2,000 gold ahead against Eman. If the airstrike gets used up onto Flapteezy of all people, Fist Crack 2, Light goes in for the ejector. A big blunder for BTR. Ogwen walks in, Light is down, and it's Super Marco who gets another sack on the Sky Piercer.
Those were a lot of resources utilized only to take him down, and Team Falcons, they know it. They were able to turn things around, take Light out, but it seems like Kaltisi doesn't want to go for it just yet. Focus on getting the purple buff first. Wait a second, that's a catch.
Uh-oh, Tar's Revenge and the Rage plus everything there. Both the L's of BTR taken down Light, and then Luke, a free lord over to Team Falcons.
Unfortunate stuff for Bigatron. 2,000 gold lead in the first, 5 minutes of the game, and now we're down to 10 minutes. And Team Falcons are the ones holding on to the advantage. 2,000 gold lead for them. They have a Lord on the way as well. Very, very messy team fight. And this was one of the things that we did kind of mention during our pre-show and, leading to this game. The fact that Bigatron Esports in these team fights, what's the call? They're so scattered. The allocation of skills as well has been a problem throughout the Snapdragon Pro Series Mobile Masters. And the same problem is what we're seeing here in this first game.
Going into the Flap TZ, again, we saw a very clean Bigatron in the early game.
Yeah.
That was actually the uncharacteristic BTR. Right now we're seeing more of the BTR we saw in the group stages. Very indecisive, making these desperate plays out of nowhere as well. And we saw that up against Flap TZ when the gold lead wasn't that far off. It was only 1,200 in total for Team Falcons. They decided to jump in and all in onto the guy the Falcons would want you to all in on.
Now, the airstrike already opened up. Gonna be able to clear the wave. There is still... Okay, the shield goes down.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Two-man stun from Luke. No one there to follow it up, though. Disconnected. BTR Amon! Very low. Gets shot down by Super Marco. Threading the needle, finding the shot. Just barely out of range, but catches it with the Sky Piercer.
And that's a double kill given over to Super Marco as well. He's sitting at 5-0-2. Look at the gold lead instantly go higher for Team Falcons. The charge is there.
Another Feather Airstrike, this time to clear out the wave. They'll be able to do so, but they won't be able to keep the turret in the mid lane alive. Now again, it's Super Marco walking up. Rhapsody, that's Sonata. Another base turret falling to the hands of Super Marco as Annabelle is left to just go and clear out those waves.
First Lord, 2 inhibitor turrets. Super worth it now for Team Falcons. What is Luke? Why?
He was looking for a play there, you know, a comeback play, but the rest of the team was not. It's the disconnect of
That's
Bigatron
it, right?
Esports.
We always see that happening. Either it's on Light or it's on Luke, but it's always these two players that seem to be not on the same page. Again, I don't know if it's a call thing, I don't know if it's a communication thing, but they don't commit to one another, and this is the result that we're getting, right? Very scattered team fights. They're giving over kills back into the enemy line. Team Falcons now 5,800 gold lead. Super Marco full item as well, by the way. Hunter Strikes, Sky Piercer, the Malefic Roar, and he already has the Wind of Nature to boot.
That's a 4,000 gold lead for the gold lane. Well, 3,600, but what the hell? That's ridiculous, Super Marco. Wow, Wind of Nature already, Sky Piercer, 4 sacks probably already? That's a Sea Halberd and the Malefic Roar, so even the front lines won't be able to take this damage from Super Marco. At this point, Fuel, Kaltizi, they're just supporting damage. It's all about Super Marco as we get into the 13th minute of the game.
And right now, Oman has to clear that top side turret as well. The minions are still pushing in favor of Team Falcon's PH because of the lack of inhibitor turret. Wait a second.
Again, you can see Ogun walking up, able to find light there with Times Badge and the range of the back line. It's going to be a flicker up for Miranda. Luke gunned down by Super Marco. And Team Falcons get everything. Am on the bush. Recall safely, almost got caught by a raging Kaltizi.
That was so close. What? If he got taken down, this would end up much, much worse. Still though, Bigatron Esports are functioning on hyperdrive here as they have to try and look for a defense without Luke as well as Light. It's 9 seconds for him to respawn back into the game.
Wind of Nature still available for Super Marco. Great response from BTR there. You saw the angle. No Wind of Nature for Super Marco, but they still have a big Lord coming down. Oakwood taking out Annabelle, finding the assassination to the side, dodging away from the Sanguine Claws as well, as that's going to be the mid lane with the Lord dealt with. Bottom lane, it's a turret siege down by Falcons very slowly, but surely. 3 base turrets down. Iman going in again. Flap TZ goes in for a bit more damage. Further airstrike, burning him down. The glowing wand tick is on him, but he gets to the bush in time.
And he gets out. 1-0 trade in that particular siege coming in from Team Falcons. And Bigatron Esports are still looking for their ground, still looking for their momentum to take things back. But again, with 6,000 gold deficit on the side of Bigatron Esports, the way that Super Marco is currently farming as well. Annabelle's looking for a kill over. For information, Luke is still there, so he should be able to get out fine. What do they rely on now for Bigatron? Do they wait for the power spike coming from Iman? I mean, technically he already has 4 items.
The thing is, we gotta talk about that power spike, right? For Iman, he's already hit the power spike. He's on the way to a Wind of Nature. That will certainly help him in the late game. But the thing is, he doesn't really have a lot of penetration. So Kyle TZ, Ogwen, Flap TZ, they're gonna be big problems for Iman as we get for actually the whole team of Bigatron, because Yeah, they have no way of shredding down these frontliners. What they have is a way to dive into the backline. If they do get that, then yes, that GDS with the Wind Talker for Iman will be massive in terms of being able to actually try to kill Super Marco. But if they don't get that very specific win con under their belt, I fail to see how they're going to get through this front to back of Team Falcons.
I mean, technically, Annabelle is building the Malefic Roar, right? And he was the one to take down Ogwen earlier. Is that another solution, maybe, to Bigatron Esports not completely relying onto Eman?
I mean, it's a way to deal more damage, right? I mean, more poke. You can use the Queller to poke with the Malefic Roar. You do more damage to him. But in the late game, you're going to have to rely on your goal laner for the most part to be the one dealing out damage to the front line. The fact that they have gone for kind of like an assassin build for this Irithyll means they don't want to. They don't want to go and deal with the frontliners first, which is, again, very risky. Maybe if they had a Lo Yi, could have been less risky because that's what the playstyle is. Currently, it relies heavily on execution. That's what it means.
So they're looking for some sort of pick-off maybe, right? Before they go in for the team fight. So far, they haven't been able to find it, but Light goes in again.
Oh, great flick around. Now Luke, though, able to find them all in the fist crack. It's going to be Ogwen taken very low. Still Annabelle in the back as well. Immortality can be popped as Light gets taken down. But Annabelle is looking for the kill. Able to find Few. Gets out again. Now it's the kite back from Moreno. A 2-for-1. Few taken down for Light and Annabelle.
Annabelle was trying his best, man, in the back line, looking for that kill over onto Few. Was able to get it, but the fact that he's traded back means that they don't have any retribution here. Iman looks like he's going for a re-engage.
He already used the heavy crossbow earlier. Does not have to sprint. Super Marco, does he have the win of nature as he jumps back forward? Moreno used the feather airstrike earlier. Flap TZ gaining control again. No retribution for the side of BTR. Iman trying to look for this. Calteezy is getting whipped down. Now it's going to be Ogwen with the Tarnished Revenge at the rage, finding Luke to give Marco a legendary, as that's Iman jumping to the back with the Wind of Nature as well. A saving grace, perhaps, but Flap TZ is going to chase him down. Now looking for those shots onto Iman. He buys the immortality, but no one's there to save him. Feather airstrike comes in, takes no one down. Super Marco with Kyle TZ gets the last hit down on Moreno. And now it's up to Light and Annabelle. Another round of BTR versus Falcons. Annabelle walking up. Immortality down for Super Marco. No One in Nature used up as well to shut down for Annabelle. He buys the immortality in time. Jumps back in now onto Few. But the Bat Feast damage. That DOT was on it. Bad impact too. Meanwhile, the minions in the base will end the game for Team Falcons.
Team Falcons 1-0 now for Bigatron Esports. Very, very messy by BTR there.